What's up, everybody? You had the starter earlier on with James and Paddy. Now it's time for the main course, Chris. Now it's time for the men with the actual, dare I say knowledge for us too.
I think after our post-match stream, after our post-stream the other day, we can clearly say that James doesn't have knowledge.
I won't go in. I'm not throwing him under a bus, Chris. I'm not doing that. But let's just say I enjoy spending euros over here in Ireland, Chris. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, mate, it's a pleasure. As per usual, watched the show earlier, so yeah, I wouldn't say the main. I'd say the dessert, because you're looking very sweet today, Craig.
Oh, that's very kind of you, sir. You know, from one handsome bastard to another, that's very kind of you. Look, ladies and gentlemen, proud to say tomorrow, it's launch day. It's big day. Anfield Agenda are going to try and take over Twitch. So from tomorrow, 5:30, build up to the game. We will be on Twitch, but look, don't worry. All of our regular Anfield Agenda YouTube content will still be going out. But we just want to flirt with another platform for a little while, just to see how we get on. And I know you're certainly going to be involved, Chris, with us on Twitch. You're going to be with us tomorrow for the launch at 5:30. Excited, shitting yourself, like me. Won't be able to sleep tonight thinking nobody be in the chat.
Mate, I cannot wait. It's going to be great fun. Anfield Agenda, world domination. That's what we love to see. Your lovely bold head all over the world, mate. And that's all we need in this world.
I had a white hoodie on the other day when I went to Tesco with my daughter, and she told me I looked like a cotton bud because I had my hood up. So she said I looked like a cotton bud, which, you know, I love it. I love that I've fostered that level of banter in her at 17 already, that she's willing to take on the old man. It's beautiful, yeah. I respect it. Look, before we really get stuck into the stream, we can't get going with all the fun stuff without, unfortunately, speaking about the passing of Ray Kennedy today, age 70, Chris. And when we talk about legends, and we have so many great legends that we've seen at Liverpool, Ray Kennedy be right up there with them.
Oh, absolutely. Part of some of the most successful sides to ever play. My dad's generation. It's just so sad, really. I know he's had a very long battle with Parkinson's disease, which is horrible. So all I can pray for is for his family, his friends, and to hope that he is out of pain. And that's the only thing we can hope, really. An absolute legend of Liverpool Football Club, and one of the most underrated players to ever play for the football club as well. You hear like Phil Thompson and legends of that ilk say how good a footballer Ray Kennedy was, and players from his Arsenal team as well.
See, I only learned that today about Ray Kennedy. I didn't realise he played for Arsenal till today.
Yeah, man, it's just gutting. But yeah, rest in peace, Ray, and condolences to his family, as I said.
Absolutely, and I echo everything that Chris said, and every sentiment that everybody has put out there today. It's always lovely to see the outpouring of emotion towards somebody, but you know, and sadly, the circumstance isn't what we'd all hope for. But look, may he rest in peace, as Chris has said. And look, here's a fellow boomer, obviously, with a comment. What's Twitch? I mean, to you, Chris, that looks... I get it. I understand what this gentleman is asking here. But Twitch is just another streaming platform, my friend. It is one that was ideally set up for gamers originally, but now they're looking to move into the sports world. So, for example, Goldbridge does a bit of stuff on there. The Kickoff with True Geordie, they do it exclusively on Twitch. They've got Fabrizio Romano on Twitch. And now it's time for the big boys. It's time for Anfield Agenda to come across onto Twitch and try and play catch up with Paddy Murphy, who was like 27,000 followers on there or something. So, look, if you are a Twitch user, or if you want to come over and just see more Anfield Agenda content, please do follow us on Twitch. And if you subscribe to us on there, which is akin to a membership on YouTube, we will give you access to our Discord group as well. And also, once we hit 100 subscribers on there, I promise I'd start doing a little bit of gaming, because the PS5 has been unboxed, Chris, because my son is out of isolation, and I shit you not, 2 minutes in the door, that PS5 was open. First thing he did, didn't even come near Daddy, just ran to the PS5.
I respect it. As a non-gaming man myself, I can truly not really appreciate the gaming thing, but yeah.
You're a non-gamer as well. Oh, I knew I liked you for a reason.
I'm not a gamer, man. I retired from FIFA in like 2015 or 16. Never really liked like Call of Duty and that stuff when I was growing up. Just preferred playing sport, to be honest, and talking about it rather than and sitting in front of Sky Sports News as a 7 or 8 year old, which is kind of like strange and weird. But yeah, that's what I know.
I'd say that's out of my house probably 16 hours of any day. Sky Sports News just in the background somewhere. But look, I want to talk wingers. I want to talk Turkey, but I want to talk wingers, if you get where I'm coming from. So look, we'll move on to the Everton game a little bit later on. But this stream is basically, I'm going to look for your in-depth knowledge on Liverpool's search for a winger, Chris, because I've done the numbers with Connor and I'm convinced it is a winger that we're going to be looking for. And look, the first name that we're going to talk about is, of course, Rafinha, somebody who's currently playing right now. Leeds playing at the minute. It was 0-0 last I checked. Don't know if it's updated. But interesting this week to hear Fabrizio Romano speak about the fact that Liverpool looked at him in the summer. And you were talking probably around 60 million quid. What's your take on that price? Because it's a little bit higher than I expected.
Do you think? I think it was
It's a little bit, just a little bit. Not too. I'm not saying it's unreasonable, but
they paid. I think it was 27 million for Rafinha from.
Was
Rennes.
it wrong that he came in? Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
Wrong,
So you know that's a big money signing for a promoted club, and he has come in and he's absolutely proven why he cost that money. And this season, even in a struggling Leeds side, he's gone and proven that he is by far and away the best player there. For me, I see a Jota-like player there. I mean, I'd say he's even higher than that because Jota didn't really stand out in that Wolves side. But I tell you what, Rafinha don't stand out in that Leeds side. £60 million for me is an absolute bargain, especially in today's market. You could go for so much more than that.
Well, that's been a great transfer show, everybody. We've nailed it. Rafinha's coming. That's the end of that. So we've boxed that one off for you. Now, look, honestly, I can see there's so many reasons why I can see this happening, and he is the ready for now player, whereas maybe the Jeremy Dokus of this world that we spoke about, maybe a future Mane understudy or replacement, shall we say, perhaps. But Rafinha, he has that flexibility as well of position that I think Jurgen Klopp would appreciate. I think you could see him on the right, you could probably see him even through the centre if needs be, and certainly off the left. So he seems, and look, our Brazilian boys. While we're talking Brazilians, before I forget, Tafarel has been appointed to the goalkeeping squad. Yeah. So let me talk about that in a minute, but let's stick with Rafinha. Do you think that Bobby and Ali and Fabinho have been having words while they've been away on international duty? Because it has happened before, let's be honest.
I mean, it was Agent Bobby with Alisson and Fabinho, wasn't it? And I honestly see, you know, they have to give him a little bit of a natter. I saw they were on a private jet together. Hopefully they weren't chatting up Fred, because he was also on that private jet.
Rafinha, nobody's ever chatting up Fred. Nobody.
I hope not, because that man is certainly not worth the £60 million the Man United paid and that we're potentially paying for Rafinha. But
did
honestly,
they pay 60 million? Was it that much?
Yeah, mate. It was mental. City were after him, if you remember. City were well in for him. They think, this is the next Fabinho. And
did they think they were getting Fred claws or something like that?
Probably. He's shocking. But no, honestly, Rafinha, I just think he has levels to go to rather than, I don't think I think he's good now. He's good enough now. Yeah, he might be having a stinker now, but it's all about class.
Of course he's having a stinker. I have 50 quid on the score.
Class is permanent.
How old is he? That is a good question there. How old is he from Jamie?
I believe he's 24, I would say, but let me just check on you now.
That's peak FSG numbers.
Yeah,
that is
24 years old. Bang on. 25 in December. He honestly, he's got levels to improve on as well. I'm fully on this train, mate.
So he'd be the go-to. Look, we speak about the agencies a lot. We speak about the fact that we've worked with that agency previously, have a great relationship. We heard Deco speaking about Rafinha in the past as well. I don't think it'll be January, I have to say, Chris. I don't think it'll be January for any business, if I'm being really honest with you. But particularly Rafinha, I can't see Leeds letting him go till the summer.
No. I think with the news that's come through recently that there's only going to be 2 Premier League games because in the AFCON. That we're going to be missing, so I'm not sure we will do business. When I thought it was 8 or 9 games, I was like, we have to do business in January, but I don't think we will now. Rafinha in the summer, I think, is very, very realistic. Especially, I think Julian Ward will want to start with a bang, and hopefully he can get Rafinha in for a nice cheap price. Oh, fantastic! Mick is on this train every time, bro. I love it. My family are fantastic. They're doing well.
Any other wingers? Any other business to speak about? I know there's a certain Herefordian that you like to bang the drum about as well. And look, I've warmed to the idea of Bowen. I have to say, he's not my first choice, but it's definitely a potential signing that I can see. I can see rhyme or reason with. I can see why Jurgen Klopp would like him. He almost reminds me of, dare I say, the young James Milner to some extent. I think he's got a really good work ethic, and I just think he's a Klopp type player. That's the best way I could describe it.
Yeah, I would say so. Jared Bowen got 18 goals and assists last season for West Ham United. That is very, very good numbers. I mean, and if his name was Jared Boweninho, people might be
Lionel Messi, as an example. He just had the Ballon d'Ors.
Yeah, to be fair, don't talk to me about the Ballon d'Or, man. Don't go there. But if his name was Jared Boweninho, he would be getting a lot more attention than he would. He's not even getting in the England squad, mate. I don't understand it. He's quality. He just needs to improve on his finishing. That's the only area that I think Bowen can really make strides in, because I think he's got hard work ethic. He's quick. He can pass the ball. Good technician. He just can't finish. And with 18 GNA without being able to finish, very, very good numbers. We spoke to on the transfer room to Rashane Thomas, who is the Athletics West Ham United reporter, and he said the exact same. Jared Bowen just needs to learn how to finish, and he would be a top level player. And I think there is still time for that to happen.
I know a certain Egyptian who would help him with the ill finishing. You know,
exactly. People used to say the same about Mo, didn't they? And Sadio. So. If there's anyone who's been able to do that, it'd be Jurgen Klopp, right?
Can I say something now that's going to annoy everybody in the chat probably, and gonna have some people calling me a clown, an idiot? I'm going to put it out there. I don't want Adama Traore, and I don't want Saint-Maximin at Liverpool. I don't think either of them will be able to do what we need them to do.
Ooh,
I don't see enough consistency from either, and I've yet to see any level of consistency to really do it. Like Newcastle, let's not forget, are rock bottom of the Premier League. Now, look, we have gone and bought from clubs in trouble and relegated clubs before. Robbo, a prime example, but I don't know. I just don't see enough consistency. I don't see it there. I mean, flashes of brilliance, pace, bursts of it. It's not enough. We need somebody who's going to be 7 out of 10 every single week. And I just don't see Adama and Saint-Maximin being good enough.
I won't group them together. I think Saint-Maximin is by far and away clear of Adama Traore. Maybe all merchant, as he likes to be called on football Twitter, but no. I think Saint-Maximin's got far more about him. He's younger. He is quick. Well, he's not quicker, but he's got more of a finishing talent to him rather than Adama. I wouldn't be averse to Saint-Maximin, but a Traore, I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot barge pole, to be honest.
But okay, so we'll agree on Adama. We'll push that to one side. We'll concentrate on Saint-Maximin for a second. Couple of points on it. Obviously, look, decent player, seems like a really good lad, and I would have no issues around attitude or anything like that. I just wonder, has he found not his level, but his style of club? So I don't think Liverpool are going to go in and try and destabilise Newcastle's prime asset when they've just got taken over and have an ungodly amount of money. So Newcastle aren't going to be looking to get rid of Saint-Maximin any day soon either. So you got to take that on board. Like, they're not going to be willing sellers. It would have to be a silly number.
Yeah, he'd be far down my pecking order. I mean, I've just looked out. He's only got 9 league goals in his last 3 seasons. So maybe my finishing point is a little bit of wrong there. But I always seem to think he's...
Maybe my point about being up and down maybe holds a bit of water.
We also spoke about players improving their finishing ability. I'd be more than welcome for Alan Saint-Maximin. I think he just causes trouble, to be honest with you. But the thing is, Adama Traore, according to a couple of sources today, is available for £18 million in the summer.
Still don't want them.
Look, all I'm saying is, for that price, I'd be willing to take a bargain, because to take a punt on him, because there is no real expectation on him. Then you aren't going to get a player of Adama's quality, and I don't think he's that good. But you aren't going to get a player of his quality for £18 million every day. I think he's sort of like a Shaqiri type signing, where Shaqiri was available for a cheap price. We got him. He did a bit of a job, and then he left. He won't get He won't get many plaudits in the future. People may not remember him in 10 years' time, but like he will. That would be my sort of player. £18 million for Adama Traore. Yeah, why not? Give him a punt.
Why not? I'll tell you why not, Chris. Get settled there. Let me tell you why. First problem, I think, before anything else, is the shoulder, the right shoulder. That concerns me. You know, having 4 to 6 dislocations over the last 2 seasons, playing for Wolves, not even on that regular. Imagine him getting the attention that Mohamed Salah gets, as an example, or Sadio Mane gets physically in a team that can dominate possession like we do. I just don't want to bring in another proven injury-prone player, even at 18 million. I'd rather we just look elsewhere. To be honest, I would. That's just
100%.
my own opinion.
100%. I agree. He'd be far down the pecking order in terms of those, but I think for that price, it elevates him a little bit more than it would do. But nah, because people were saying 50 million 2 summers ago. Like, and to be fair, I may have been on the train, but I'm on the train with a lot of people, Craig.
You're a bit of a whore, aren't you, Chris?
I am a little bit. I've got a lot of goats, and I've got a lot of people that I love.
That's all right. There's plenty of love to go around, Chris. It's all good.
Spreading the positivity. But no, as I said, for me, Rafinha 1, Jared Bowen 2, Chukwueze 3 probably would be my.
He's not good enough either, Chris.
I'd take him.
He's been Samuel Chukwueze. I put him in the Iñaki Williams band of players that will be talked about getting moved for the next 4 years, but will still be a Villarreal or Bilbao, respectively. And I actually watched quite a lot of of La Liga, usually watching Barca games. And Chukwueze,
actually, I've changed my mind. He wouldn't be there. Ismaila Sarr would be my third one. That's my 3.
Yeah, see, the thing with Sarr is we know there's interest, no doubt about that. We inquired before we bought Diogo Jota. It's just the price. I think the Watford wanted 50 million last year for when we were signing Jota. Now they're a Premier League club for the minute. Yeah, look, I can see sense to the Sarr thing, I have to say, with the Sadio Mane link there as well. I think there's far more options with Ismaila Sarr, again, because I think he's more versatile than some of the others.
Yeah.
He strikes me as somebody who could play through the centre if need to be as well.
100%. I also think that if Watford go down again, which is a distinct possibility, we may be able to get him a little bit cheaper, hopefully, than the 50 million they wanted last year.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Another name I wanted to bring up really quickly, because he's only come to prominence this season with a move to Ajax, is of course Antony. Looks decent, mate. You know, it's 21 years of age, I think, moved from Brazil over to Ajax, working under a fantastic coach, obviously, with Erik ten Hag, and somebody who's caught the eye of a lot of Liverpool fans, especially, because you see a few shouts there in the comment section. Do you think that Ajax would want to move him on that quickly, ideally?
It would take a hefty offer, if I'm being honest. I've seen the only bits I've seen of him. I can't profess to be an Eredivisie fan, but in the Champions League, he's looked dangerous. He really has. And you know what? 12 goals, 12 league goals in Eredivisie isn't fantastic. That's something he would, again, need to improve. That's what all of these players need to improve on to get to the levels of Salah and Mane. But Salah and Mane needed to improve to get to those levels. So that's why I wouldn't be too averse to it. But again, I put him below the 3 that I said, Craig, to be honest. I think there's still a way to go for Antony. The way that FSG buy players is proven for 2 or more seasons in a top league. And I don't think he is, if I'm being honest. And is the Eredivisie a top league? That's another question. But yeah.
Yeah, there's always outliers in every league, isn't there? Like for every Luis Suarez, there's 4 players that aren't Luis Suarez. One second. Can you let him out?
A Vincent Janssen.
Or close that. Yes, exactly. Another one here, Chris, I want to run by you. Kone from Lille, a name that Mikolaj has put into the chat. And I have to say, I was all for the asset stripping Lille when they won the Ligue 1 last year. I've got to hand this over to you, mate, because I don't know too much about Kone. I have to say, I've tried to watch Lille on a few occasions, and I just get bored very quickly of watching French football and change the channel. So, yeah, I can't say I've watched much of Akone. Obviously, I know about Jonathan David there, Renato Sanchez, but Akone, not really somebody I've paid too much attention to be honest.
No, I do apologise, by the way. It's my housemate has decided to play some drum and bass upstairs, if you can hear it.
Can't hear anything.
Okay, absolutely. Akone, from what I've seen...
Do you want me to MC or anything while he's doing it?
No.
That could be his hype man.
Very, very dodgy tunes going out up there. But no, I'm not a massive fan of Jonathan Akone from what I've seen, and that is only highlight reels. I'm afraid I just don't think he would sign for us. And I think there are a lot better options as well. And this guy seems to agree with me, which is good news.
There you go.
Watches all the games, and I've got the same opinion. That's usually good.
Yeah, I mean, if we're being realistic here, Rafinha is the number one target. We can flirt and go around the houses and dress this up. It's just a matter of when we start I don't say the rebuild, because there's one name I want to talk about, and that's Sadio Mane, because I was reading an article on The Athletic earlier on today. I think it was Simon Hughes was doing a Q&A on there, and he was talking about the fact that he's very intrigued by the Mane contract situation, the fact that there's been little to no conversation publicly about Liverpool sitting down with him. And, we know that they're trying to tie down Mohamed Salah, and even that is, in my opinion, it's been drawn out too long now. It's starting to get embarrassing. They need to just get it done and dusted and give the man what he deserves. But with Sadio, where do you sit on this? Do you think of the three forwards that we have, one of them will be allowed to run the contract down and go on a free?
Oh, it's so hard, isn't it? I try my best not to let sentiment wade in the way of the fact that these boys are still world class, but it's all about trying to realize, is this the Michael Jordan last dance of Sadio Mane, of Roberto Firmino, not Mohamed Salah? That's very clear to see that it's not his last dance. But I think with Sadio this season, he's drastically improved. We talked about I saw on the Anfield Agenda Extra, we were saying that Mane's taking players on, not scrapping them, but taking players on a lot more. And I genuinely think he's got a little bit left, maybe one season, but to give him like a 4 or 5 year deal, I wouldn't be up for it, to be honest with you, Craig.
It's a difficult one, isn't it, mate? It really is, because he'll feel he deserves 4, I've no doubt, as would Bobby, I'm sure. He'll feel he could get 4 elsewhere, which I'm sure he could. I suppose the way to look at this is how the club handled maybe Jordan Henderson's situation with, it was a 2-year extension, I believe, handed on. Would Sadio be willing to do that? I really don't know. I have a feeling, and it is just a feeling, that he already feels like the understudy, and he doesn't. I don't imagine that sits well with a man like Sadio Mane, who's as good and has improved as much as he has since he joined the club. It's a tough one, this, and I'm glad I'm not Julian Ward, put it that way. I'm glad I'm not having to deal with this. Imagine coming through the door. First job you have to do is potentially look at the Salah situation, Firmino situation, and Mane situation before you even dare to look at bringing in new players.
Oh, it's just so difficult, isn't it? Because again, you have to try and foresee whether they will fall off, because players around that age will start to regress. I'm not sure. I think nowadays it probably takes a little bit longer, maybe towards 33, 34 for a player to start regressing, especially for the way that the Mo Salah and Sadio Mane have reached their elite. It's taken them a little longer. But yeah, it's so difficult. I prioritize Salah. That's no question. But I do think, I wouldn't be averse to Mane signing a new contract either, but I'd be a little bit more reluctant, like I was with Henderson, and I got a lot of stick for that on Twitter.
I can see a situation where maybe Mane ends up at Barcelona or something. I can see that type of situation coming, because that's exactly the type of deal Barca are going to be looking to do in a year or so. Again, bring somebody in like that, maybe in a slightly slower pace league. I'm not saying Mane will slow down, but it's going to be interesting. Here's another one, and thank you for the super chat, Khaled, as well. Emmanuel Dennis, 5 goals and 5 assists for Watford. Difficult one to gauge, because again, he to me just stinks of a player that's having a very good season and won't be able to replicate it. That's just my version of it. But he does look like he has a little something about him, I will say. Not an easy league to break into, the Premier League.
No, I mean, he was very, very good at Club Brugge. People forget, like he was, he was vital. I think he scored twice at the Burnabout, if I'm not mistaken, in the Champions League. He is, he's top quality. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Wolves F1 for that. But yeah, he seriously has got talent, but it's all about whether he does it durability. We said already, FSG wants someone who's proven for 2 or more seasons in the top league. Jota, I mean, he was top scorer in the Championship. We had waited 2 seasons of him in the Premier League before we signed him. Maybe it would be the same for Dennis. Maybe it would be the same for Sarr. Who knows? But yeah, he's a decent player. Clearly, he's got something about him.
Oh, let's be honest, mate. If they don't tie Salah down, we riot like this. Let's be honest. We march. There's. I can't even think about it. Just to change the subject of players coming in for a minute, let's talk about a coaching addition that I touched on earlier on. Taffarel coming in now. For people who aren't aware, this is where my age comes in handy. I remember Taffarel winning the World Cup in 1994 with Brazil. And he was Alisson's idol, apparently, as well. So he has been announced by the club today, to the coaching staff. We'll be working alongside John Achterberg and other coaches, not bringing in to replace anybody. So if it keeps the Brazilian contingent happy, Chris, and if Ali gets to work with his idol and he's all happy, works for me.
I know. It's a really strange one. No one really even talked about it. I saw a couple of people got selfies with Taffarel in Liverpool a couple of days ago. And I'm guessing that's what was going on. But he is, if he's Alisson's idol and he wants to work under him, then why not?
I wasn't available. I should point that out.
Unfortunately,
I imagine that I was real idol as a goalkeeper. Like, I can only imagine that's the case. So obviously I wasn't around. So the next greatest bald man available is Taffarel.
It's a strange one because a lot of people criticize John Achterberg on social media, especially those outside the club, because, well, the goalkeeper situation at Liverpool before Alisson was dodgy, to say the least.
I think that's fair.
That would be fair enough. But inside the club, he is so highly regarded from everyone that I've spoken to. The inside the club, they think the world of John Achterberg. But it may. I think this thing coming and working alongside him. I think personally, if I look at it in this way, he's coming in. Achterberg's helping Taffarel settle, and Achterberg's going. If that's how I would think about it. You can't have 2 head goalkeeping coaches. They might have different ways of going about things. It just clashes. It won't work. It's the same like with joint managers, but like on a much less scale.
If you look as well at what's coming through, we've got Peter Luga at the club as well. So it does seem like...
Not like Peter Luga will remember him, but...
yeah, it does seem like there might be a little bit of Portuguese spoken there with the goalkeeping coaches at some point down the line. So yeah, look, if John Achterberg has survived many a Liverpool managerial change as well, one of the few coaches at the club that has survived 4 or 5 that I can think of. So yeah, he must be good at his job because Klopp doesn't suffer fools. We know that much. He wouldn't have him there. I think he called him an animal for knowledge on goalkeepers, and that he basically sleeps there at the club really pretty much, and is forever just looking at videos and watching and trying to improve and trying to find out what's happening in the world of goalkeepers. And yeah, so look, if it benefits the club, again, I'm all for it. I just want everyone at the club to be happy and the club to do well on the pitch. Let's have a little chat around Wednesday, tomorrow, Everton. Oh. How many are we going to batter these absolute clowns by?
Mate, I wish I could have your positivity. I really don't.
I've got it already. The blue and white shite, the Merry Christmas Everton. It's all got to be coming out tomorrow, Chris, when we go to Goodison and destroy them, because we're going to beat them by at least 3.
Oh, mate, I wish I was like this. I am nervous, man. I really, really am, because all the signs are pointing to a Liverpool thrashing of Everton. They are dog shit. They are terrible at football. The way that Rafa's trying to set them up, I mean, I listened to a lad who's just joined the transfer room team, and he said, yes, Coaster Creations. He's big up.
I didn't sleep very well last night, knowing that you're verified and I'm not, Chris. I didn't sleep very well knowing that. But no, congratulations on it. He says through grinded fucking teeth. Nah, I'm only joking, man. Delighted for you.
But no, I listened to a podcast, an Everton podcast earlier. I know, a weirdo I am. And they were saying that Rafa Benitez is like if there was a list of problems at the club, he would be like very near the bottom. He is not a problem. Their squad is awful. If you look at it, they got T-Rex arms in goal. They got 75-year-old Seamus Coleman at right back, 2 inconsistent centre backs. Left back, okay, Luca Digne is very good, but he's a shining star in a big fish in a small pond. Alan and Doucouré, again, they can't run. You've got Damari Gray, who's been plucked up out under a rock because Bayer Leverkusen didn't want him.
We've also got Solomon Rondon McDonald.
And Solomon Rondon, who actually is a very good hold-up player, I think. Slate me now. I think Rondon's actually all right. But
who's he holding it up for exactly?
Exactly. That's the thing. He was better off at Newcastle. They are just, their squad is, they've got I'm not going to say what another midfielder is, but you know what I'm saying? Like, they are so in the mud. But that's what's making me worried, because everything is pointing against that. And I just think we might mess up, man. It's just so scary because we're so much better than them. And that's the thing.
You're a pussy. You got to take these lads head on. Virgil's got to be there. He's got to put Pickford and the ball through the net from a header.
If there's we owe them after last season, like not only away from home but at home as well. Like, away from home, injury to Thiago and Van Dijk, like, and the way that they somehow managed to shit out a draw even when we scored a perfectly legitimate goal in the 95th minute or whatever it was. And then at home, we had. Like, Kabak had an absolute stinker. Jordan Pickford had a worldy game. People seem to forget that, even though we were in like our worst home win ever. And then they celebrated it like they'd won the World Cup. We owe them big time. And look, that's what's making me a little bit more, positive about it, is that Jurgen Klopp will just say to these players, you know what to do, lads. Like, you know what to do. Just play your football the way that we've been playing at the moment. I think Thiago bosses them, man. I really, really do.
Blue, white chai. Hello, 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 hello. Come on, Chris, get into the spirit.
Blue, white chai, hello.
It's Christmas, you know what I mean? We've got to do what we do at Christmas, which is take 3 points off Everton. It's December tomorrow, though, when we're playing them. Do you know what I mean? We're kicking it off. Amazon Prime, love it. A Liverpool derby, they love it.
Do you reckon, right? We titled one of our streams, right? If they do get battered, I don't think they will. But Liverpool,
if we get battered,
no, if they get battered,
silly boy,
if they get battered.
Oh, when?
Okay. Do you think how much do you think the Reds fans will be chanting Rafa's name?
Oh, what? Yeah, the shithousery will be unbelievable. Yeah, of course they will. Well, they're going to give Rafa a warm welcome one way or the other. But yeah, it's a win-win. Whatever happens, it's win. Rafa's a legend, and when we beat them twice this season, Rafa will still be a legend. But, Everton are still Everton. And they are also Rans.
Agent Rafa, by the way. Agent Rafa is going to take them down and get the Newcastle job. That's my opinion.
I love this. Craig and Chris together are class. Great show, lads. Yeah. Thank you very much. I like to see this, Chris, as some form of normality after the craziness that was James and Paddy earlier on. I love that. I watched that back. I love that stream. It was brilliant.
Mate, James fucked off within 2 seconds. Do you watch it? I was like, yeah,
I tuned in just as Paddy was looking very confused. I wondered what the fuck to do.
Paddy was just there like, what's going on, lads? What's happening? I was just like, amazing. But
I love those moments, though. I love those moments. Just as a human being, I love seeing somebody squirm like that a little bit.
Wasn't it just fantastic? They're
both brilliant. I love the two of them. They're amazing at what they do, and I still pinch myself that we have the team that we do with them in it, because I think when the World Cup's on to what we're doing, because I still think we're, dare I say it, Chris, underappreciated, undervalued in the content creator world.
I'd say so. I mean, there is no question. We are the Nathaniel Phillips of the content creators, and we want to be Virgil van Dijk.
There you go. I'll take it. You know what I mean? I'll definitely take it. There was something else, Chris, I wanted to talk about. Oh, my friend Matt Hayes, Tottenham fan, is asked me to just do a little video as well to just in support of the Rainbow Laces campaign, which, of course, I am damn happy to do. And it's a great gesture, great idea from Matt. He's trying to get a content creator from each club to get involved in it. So shout out to Matt Hayes. Yeah, really, really nice guy, and he said it's a subject close to his heart. So always happy to support what I think are is a great initiative. I really do. I love to see the club support. Hendo obviously speaking passionately about it. Kloppo speaking passionately about it, and I know you feel the exact same, Chris. We're absolutely in support of the Rainbow Laces campaign, 100%.
100% is brilliant. I love it. I did an entire project last year around it at my university. It was
you
really,
own
really
the
good.
university as well, so it's not just a big house in Herefordshire now. It's the Stone Age University as well.
no,
the Trump mold here, I see, Chris.
In uni in Cardiff, mate. I'm loving it. But no, I did a whole university project on it last year. Spoke to Beth Fisher, who works for ITV. She's part of that community, and she's fantastic. And yeah, look, the Rainbow Laces campaign is just proof and solidarity of the vast majority of us who know that this is the path that we all need to be on, and we are all fully behind it, and I can speak for pretty much everyone I know as well. So let's do this. Get that video in, Craig.
Absolutely, we're an all-inclusive sport, and we always should be. Right, I wanted to run another name past you that I forgot about. Luis Diaz of Porto obviously had a bit of a stinker against us. I don't think he's good enough again, but then again, I'm very harsh in these things. Well, I see a few people in the chat wanting to speak about him.
Diaz is so interesting because he fits the age profile of what FSG look for, but is the Portuguese League A top league, and B, has he really gone to new levels? I mean, the way that I've been thinking about it, it's £67 million his release clause is,
right off.
which is like, to put it bluntly, I'm not on the train, mate. I'm really, really not on the train. I would get Bowen. I would get Rafinha.
I think he looks like Dominic Solanke as well, and that worries me.
Look, Dominic Solanke is the second top scorer in the championship, so put some respect on his name, Craig Houlden.
I mean, physically, I think he looked like Dominic Solanke. I don't mean playing-wise. When I looked at him, I thought, is Dominic Solanke not a Bournemouth anymore? Maybe it's just me, but I often see these weird little lookalike things that nobody else seems to see. But our captain, Sal, excuse me, said Diaz is class.
Our captain. Nah.
I would disagree. I don't think he's that good, to be honest. Not saying it's difficult in these because you are trying to gauge how somebody performs in a league that is questionable with regards to its depth. But then again, Portuguese football is going through a really good moment at the minute, and there are a lot of players probably plying their trade in the Premier League in Portugal that probably are under the radar.
I mean, I've just looked at his stats now. He's in the 91st percentile for dribbles completed. So, he's clearly got something about him, a little bit of that special something, as Football Manager likes to put out. But you know what? It's not for me. It's really not for me. And I don't think Liverpool are looking for dribblers per se, like a Coutinho type. I think we would go for someone who's more of a dribbler and a goal scorer. Luis Diaz, not for me. Not for me at all.
Full time, by the way, St James's Park, Newcastle won. Norwich
doesn't help anyone.
That one finished.
It doesn't help anyone.
No, it doesn't. No, but to be fair, Newcastle were down to 10 men after 9 minutes. I think, what's his name? Kieran, whatever his name is, their defender. Yeah, he picked up a red card.
Didn't he?
And he scored in the Leeds game.
I swear he's Irish, isn't he?
He sounds like he should be.
Craig's a plastic Irishman, ladies and gents.
Yeah, I am. I won't lie. I am. I'm a bandwagon jumper. If we do well in something in Ireland, I'm fully decked out in the gear then 2 minutes later.
He is a 36 cap Republic of Ireland international.
There you go. Yeah. Legend.
Oh,
I was only talking about him to Paddy yesterday, saying how great he was. I was vividly remembering going through those 36 caps.
But yeah, no, that literally doesn't help anyone. That doesn't help anyone. Like, they're both going down probably. So, like, unless Newcastle go and spend like 200 million in January, which is very possible.
Spending the parachute payment money already.
Probably, yeah, and the money they're getting from the oil. So No, it really doesn't help anyone. What a boring game of football. That's all I'm going to say.
Can we talk about the Ballon d'Or for just a minute? Because I don't feel like I got my rage out enough yesterday on the stream when it was announced, just as myself, Steve and James were on. And look, how do I say this? I love Leo Messi. He is my favourite player of this current generation of footballers. But I don't understand how we can live in a world where Lewandowski didn't win the Ballon d'Or and Mohamed Salah is 7th and Sadio Mane isn't in the top 30. And I don't understand. It does not compute with me, Chris. Help me make it make sense.
It's pure corruption, isn't it, Craig? That's the only thing that we can say. I mean, Leo Messi, yes, the best player of all time, in my humble opinion. All right, I was on the Ronaldo train until he came back to United. But you know what? And even Ronaldo came above Mo Salah. Are you mad?
That's just taking the piss. Like that's beyond disrespectful to Mohamed Salah.
Look.
And see, people get upset when we say this, Chris, because nobody's trying to say that Ronaldo and Messi aren't the best two of our generation. That's not up for debate. We all agree on that. But, you know, what really annoyed me about the Ballon d'Or and what really drew a line under it for me was when Leo Messi won it ahead of Virgil van Dijk, having not won it the year before when he had a better statistical season. I'm sorry, but that's bullshit.
There is no... I mean, Jurgen said it today in his press conference. He said, why are you asking me this? You voted for it, so it's your fault.
I love that. Yeah, I love that from Klopp.
I look, it is pure. I mean, I can understand. I can just about understand Jorginho and Kante being as high as they were purely because of the trophies they won. And if that's the metric you want to go off, that's fine. But then why is Ronaldo there? I just don't get it.
Why is Erling Haaland at 11?
Exactly. It is just pure insanity. And I just, mate, you know, if Ronaldo's Coppa Italia or whatever it is counts above Mo Salah keeping us in the top 4 and being the best player in the world this half of the season, then sure, fair enough. But it just doesn't, I'm afraid.
My point is this. So Messi won it having won a Copa del Rey, and I mean, I was as happy as anybody to win the Copa America with Argentina. Absolutely, it was over the moon. But let's say this season, Mohamed Salah wins the League Cup and the AFCON. He ain't winning the Ballon d'Or off the back of that, mate, unless he's lifting a Champions League or a Premier League title on top of that. And that's the level of hypocrisy that pisses me off.
It's all twisting to fit their own agenda, unfortunately, which is just ridiculous. But what Walter's just said is absolutely right. Well, how Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain was not even in the conversation for the Ballon d'Or is beyond me. The man is...
And no Clavan anywhere.
No Raggy, bro. I don't understand it. I mean, I remember one day when I was talking about this earlier, like how Jurgen likes to throw in like just random things in games against Everton, like starting Clavan at left back and starting Dom Solanke up front. Absolute legend. But no, how Oxlade-Chamberlain's not been involved. But yeah, it's ridiculous. Benzema, I think Benzema.
Yes, that's another brilliant show. Karim Benzema's been absolutely fire for the last year. Unbelievable.
He has, and he's got just as many goals and assists as Salah this season. Yes, in a weaker league, I will say that. But look, how Messi has even been... I don't know how Lewandowski hasn't won it. It's just...
It was really nice, though, of Leo Messi to give a little tip of the hat to Cilla Black with the outfit that he wore.
And the fact that he pity, like, said... And they gave Lewandowski a pity award because they felt guilty about it, I reckon.
They know they shafted Lewandowski. He was... Even Kloppo said it. Like, if Lewandowski doesn't win it, what do you have to do? Do you know what I mean? And obviously, Klopp has a soft spot for Lewandowski, having brought him into Dortmund. But I think any neutral that isn't completely tainted by their love of Messi or Ronaldo will surely have to admit that Robert Lewandowski should have won the Ballon d'Or.
And to be fair, there is quite a lot of those people, Craig. There is quite a lot of people who are tainted by their love for Messi and Ronaldo. Just have a look at Twitter comment sections. I know you're not on it, but it's literally...
I don't look at that, mate, because I don't speak Virgin.
That's true, to be fair. That is true. But no, it's purely corruption. I can't stand the Ballon d'Or. And the way that it goes about the whole UEFA and FIFA, like all of these massive organisations.
And Ronaldo had a little tiff as well. Did you see it? Ronaldo
yeah.
a bit of a drippy lip. God bless him.
Oh, sixth place. I have sixth place, but we beat him 5-0. So, what a shame.
Was it 5, Chris? It was 5-0, was it? Just to confirm that.
I wish Ronaldo had finished 5th. I really wish he'd finished 5th now. Oh, such a shame.
There you go. Here's a question, and my answer to this is going to be short and sweet. We don't need to sign a backup keeper. We have Caoimhín Kelleher. We have Gianluigi Pillaluga coming through, and we have the kid on loan at St. Pat's who just won the FA Cup. Jaros, is it?
Vitislav Jaros, yeah. I mean, Craig, as a plastic Irishman, I'm surprised you knew who Caoimhín Kelleher was.
I only know because he looks like Connor. Do you know what I mean? That's the only reason. He looks like Connor. No, look, Caoimhín Kelleher is... I can give you all the stats on Caoimhín Kelleher. From Ringmahon Rangers, playing as a forward till he was 15, then became a goalkeeper. I'm clued up on goalkeepers. That's my area of expertise.
Just that's it. That's it. No more Irish players we need.
Kelleher is really unlucky though because he has Gavin Bazunu ahead of him at the minute for Ireland, and Superman isn't getting ahead of Gavin Bazunu the way he's played at the minute. He's undroppable for Stephen Kenny and the Irish team. We haven't spoken about midfield, Chris. I want to have a little chat around midfield options and look to the transfer window here as well, because we have 2 slots in midfield, I would say, that are nailed down to some extent, and whether they be Fabinho, Hendo, Fabinho, Elliott, it's Fabinho on some combination of one of those 2 on the right. So for me, the area where we have a little bit of room to play around with here is the Thiago, the Naby Keita, that left side of midfield. So are we going to see Liverpool maybe look to bring in a different type of midfielder, or are we going to want another engine room midfielder, another Jordan Henderson, another box-to-box, another Energizer Bunny type midfielder?
I don't know, Craig. It really depends on the future for me. It depends on the future of James Milner, because in the summer especially, because we don't know whether he'll play for another year, whether he'll move on, whether he'll go into the coaching staff. Personally, mate, and I know it might be a controversial opinion, I don't think we need a midfielder. I think we've got Fabinho and Henderson in a 6. If we are going to get a midfielder, I'd want it to be another 6.
Where do you see Thiago, by the way? Do you see him as... I kind of see him as 6.5.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, in teams in the low block, Thiago's an 8. But in sort of against other teams, he's more of a 6. But I think we've got so many great options in midfield, mate. Let's just start off with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. He's just he's
the first one to sell. You're right, absolutely.
Let's
start off by talking about how much we get for Alex Oxlade. Just a good point, Chris. I like that you raised it. Well played, sir.
100 million at least. No, we've got Fabinho.
The Ballon d'Or shunned Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Fabinho, Hendo, Thiago, Naby Keita's back, by the way, very, very nearly. Curtis Jones, not far away. Harvey Elliott, not that far away. Not close, but
Tyler Morton in the equation now as well.
Tyler Morton in the equation as well. May I just say that unless we signed a Bellingham or a Rice, I would not be open to signing any midfielder in the summer at all.
I think it just depends on how Klopp wants to set us up, because as fans, we all feel like we need that exciting Coutinho-esque attacking, playing the hole behind, David Silva-esque type midfielder. But the truth is, Klopp doesn't really carry a luxury player in his system. Everybody has a job in our system, even to and Naby Keita can get into the box. And we've seen Thiago recently getting in and around the penalty area and shooting. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain can certainly do that job that we spoke about. I just wonder, let's go through the midfield options. Milner, we don't know what will happen at the end of the season, realistically, with James Milner. I think Klopp would love to keep him. I just wonder if it's his wages that will be the issue and will ultimately lead to the club saying, that's 140 or 150 grand a week there. That's a good chunk of money that we could free up for somebody who we could probably even get in on less wages than Milner and do probably be more impactful to the overall squad. Because Milner is a utility man, without a doubt. Klopp loves him. There's no denying that. But I think Father Time will eventually signal the end for James Milner, or James frickin' Milner. Sorry, Liz. And then if we look at Hendo, well, that contract's been signed. Hendo's extended. But I think we'll see Henderson's role lessened down to maybe 30 games a season across all competitions, which is absolutely sound. I think that's probably what you would expect. Fabinho, therein I wonder, do we need another 6? Do we need somebody? Because you're not going to displace Fabinho, and he's what, 20? Is he 27 or 29?
28. So, but I have seen there was one rumor coming up today that Dennis Zakaria is available on a free transfer at the end of the season from Mönchengladbach. Now, free transfer. FSG are probably their ears pricked up at that. So look, I think in terms of that's the one position we probably only got one world-class player in. And that I don't think Henderson's very good in that role anymore. I don't think Thiago can play it, especially in a solo situation, maybe in a double pivot, but not by himself.
Thiago in the 6 is a red card waiting to happen. He loves an early yellow.
He does, doesn't he? He does.
I think there's a good comment here in the chat. Where is it gone? Basically, the comment was saying we've got a load of similar type midfielders, and we don't really have anybody that could do. Well, if you think about it, like Henderson, Milner. I'd say Curtis Jones. We could put it in the same as that box-to-box style attacking type midfielder. I see Jones is the one that interests me because I could really see him on the left-hand side long term. I could see Curtis Jones being an 8 to 12 goal a season man from midfield.
100%. I'm fully on that train. I think especially, he's only 20 years old. We seem to forget this. He is so good, so naturally talented, Curtis Jones. And people forget that. I think he's got if you watch the academy games when he was playing in that was sort of the time when I actually used to watch the academy, when Jones was coming through, and he was just a level above me, a level above. And I still think, he needs to prove that, but he's played over 50 games for Liverpool already. Like, he's very, very, he's more experienced than, as well for his age. So look, I'm down for CJ. He can play on that left side of midfield. He can play on the left wing. Even he's improved there. So yeah, I think we've got a load of different types of midfielders, Craig. I really
the only thing that makes me think we might sign a midfielder in the summer is that I think we might wait one more year and then
the Jude train.
I think the Jude train is being postponed and it's due to arrive in 2023, Chris. I really do. I'm fully... because if you think about it, we will then be at a point where we will know what the situation is with Naby at that point. Henderson will be probably in the James Milner situation now of, okay, how many more years has he got? 1 or 2 left. Thiago will know again how his injury pans out, and we'll see how the youngsters progress. So I think it buys a little bit of time. But I still feel like we need to replace Gini, though. I do. Even though we've got, Tyler Morton coming through, and even though Curtis Jones was stepping up, Curtis Jones was already kind of there or thereabouts when Gini left. So I don't know. I just think if we really want to go and win as many trophies as we can, one more midfielder. But I don't think it's anywhere near as important as an attacker right now. I think an attacker is certainly priority number 1.
I'd almost argue that, I wouldn't say midfield is priority at all. I mean, it depends. We'll see what happens in the summer. With Naby as well is another one. Chouameni.
I like it. Good wordplay, Coppers, and well played, sir.
We love a pun here. But
did I see something on your boy? Did I see a little something on Nico Williams pop up again today? Because I seen James Redmond earlier on talking about Nico maybe having a £10 million price tag on him.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can see it happening. That's the one, and I wouldn't be against it because I think Nico Williams is much more than a backup Liverpool right back. I think Nico Williams could go on to be a real top level fullback in years to come at maybe a slightly lesser club, like Southampton or somewhere like that. I think he was linked there before. I remember actually good friends with a lad who was quite in at Southampton, and he said that Southampton actually inquired about Nico Williams before they signed Taki Minamino in January. That's who Ralph gave Jurgen a ring and was like, "Can we have Nico on loan?" And he was like, no, but you can have Taki. And that's what happened. But I think, honestly, he's so much better. 10 million, I think, is undercutting it, if I'm being honest. But look, if it frees up some funds, it frees up a squad space, I wouldn't be against it, Craig. And I do love him.
I do feel like at 10 million, somebody's getting a deal. Someone's getting a bargain at 10 million. I have to say it. I think Nico has shown that he will continue to progress. And look, Conor Bradley is certainly looked at as a potential successor to Trent, but then he's been spoken about as a potential midfielder as well. So there was another great shout actually from somebody in the chat, a midfield option we didn't speak about, and that's Yuri Tielemans, of course, with the contract situation at Leicester City as it is.
I mean, you can't deny his talent, can you? I mean, he turns up in big games.
Absolutely not, yeah.
He turns up in big games as well. Turns up in big games as well, but I don't know where he... in his peak, I think Tielemans it would get into that, like, would be pushing that Thiago place. But I don't think he's better yet. I think we would have to wait 2 years before Tielemans would become sort of a regular starter for the money that we would pay for Yuri Tielemans as well. I don't think he would, as we said, I don't think he would fit in.
What is his exact contract? Is it 18 months to go now?
Yeah, 18 months, I believe. Let me just fact check that for you, Craig.
I can sort this deal out in 2 minutes. How are you, Brendan? Yeah, look, here's the story. We're going to have Tielemans, mate. Look, that's going to happen. You know, get over it. But look, here's what I'll do for you. We'll leave Harvey Barnes alone for the time being if you make this painless. If it becomes painful, mate, well, then we're having Harvey as well. Best of luck to you, pal. Sorry about 13, 14. Bye-bye.
Or we could say to Brendan, if it is Brendan, I doubt it will be Brendan at the end of the season if he goes to Mankland. But Naby swap, maybe? What are we saying? Anything? Would you do that, Craig? Would you do it?
It was mentioned a long time ago. I remember seeing this mentioned that Leicester were interested in Naby, and if anybody can get this lad to not be injured consistently and play, there's no doubt about his ability. None of us can doubt Naby Keita as a fine midfield player. And it kind of does have a fit of Leicester about it. I will agree with you. I could see Leicester not hating that idea, perhaps.
I'd be down. Yuri's just a little bit fitter version of Naby for me. I don't think he's as good.
I think maybe psychologically I'm preparing myself for Naby to be part of the offer for Jude.
We're on the train. Choo-choo.
I mean, I'm sacrificing everybody for Jude, mate. Do you know what I mean? The missus, the dog, everybody, like they're all on the table as part of negotiations.
Yeah. I don't know. I love Jude, but I prefer Rice.
Yeah, I mean, talking about plastic Irishmen, I mean, you brought it up earlier on, mate. I mean, if we are to discuss the Badge Kitchen plastic Irishman who was singing up the rap, I mean, you know,
I'm sure you love it. Personally, I prefer Rice, but that's only me because I think he would fit in our team.
Look, Declan Rice is an outstanding midfielder. There's no doubt there. He's proper, and he's starting to add more goals to his game as well, which is yeah. And do you know what? I kind of get the feeling he's not that much angling for a move out of West Ham. I think he feels the love at West Ham. I do. I think Chelsea really want him. Really, really, really want Declan Rice or Tchouaméni. I think I remember speaking with a couple of Chelsea fans around that, and they were convinced they were getting one of the two.
Yeah, I don't see Rice leaving West Ham unless West Ham go down the gutter, which isn't against all possibility. I've just seen Chris out, which is
Rehan, yeah, Jude over Rice. There you go.
I mean, look,
Rehan knows.
It's time to go. No, I'm honestly, I love Rice. I think he goes on to be captain of West Ham he will do when Noble leaves at the end of this season. But yeah, he's just quality, mate, and I'd have him in Liverpool in a heartbeat.
I think this is where we'll wrap it up, Chris. I think this is where we'll wrap it up. And just remind everybody, tomorrow, 5:30, Anfield Agenda launches on Twitch with myself, Paddy, and Chris. Going to be the first show on there. So 5:30, The build-up to the game against Everton tomorrow night. We're going to be doing 20 hours of content a month on Twitch. Please do go over, give us a follow on there as well. We're going to be working with our friends, the LFC Transfer Room, hand in hand now throughout December, January as well. Had great fun on the podcast yesterday, Chris.
Yeah, there's going to be, for you lot watching, there will be a podcast. So it's myself and another guy from the Transfer Room, Richie, talking to Craig and Connor. So if you haven't heard
Connor,
Craig and Connor. I know. So if you haven't heard much from Connor, that is your time to invest in some Connor while he's still cheap. So
I said to Connor, look, mate, I'm not doing this podcast unless it's with somebody who's verified on Twitter.
It's true. Well, no, because I wasn't verified until midway through that podcast. So, that's what I'm saying. Verified on Twitter, lads.
Journalist. Do you know what I mean? A proper journalist now, Chris.
I am,
Just make sure Anfield Agenda is high up in that bio, mate, beside that blue tick. Just push it up there.
I think it's the first one, if I'm not mistaken.
There you go.
All I'm saying.
Because then we start sneaking in and they go, oh, look, this guy works at Anfield Agenda. Let's verify all the Anfield Agenda boys when they reply. I love it. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you tomorrow. Match day content, 5:30. Myself, Chris, and Paddy on Twitch. Then I will be live from 7:30 because it's an 8:15 kickoff tomorrow night on YouTube for the watch along. And we'll have a post-match show with myself, Chris, and Paddy again. That'll be on YouTube. So look, thank you to you guys. Thank you to Chris. Thank you to his girlfriend for sitting patiently as well, waiting for a minute to stream. And thank you to you guys for watching. We will chat to you soon. Take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye.